The most overhyped shoes of recent years or truly high-quality running shoes? Today we will talk about a model that appeared out of nowhere in September 2024 and immediately took social media by storm. Even then, various influencers showed them off during the Berlin Marathon, but the general public had to try their luck during one of several drops on Adidas' official website. This is probably the first time that a new running shoe has created such a buzz in a long while. I managed to get my hands on them in December, and today, after running over 200 kilometers in them, I will share my opinion on a shoe whose official release is finally here, at least in the US, introducing the adidas EVO SL. Hi, I'm Michał, an amateur runner who's really into running shoes. I review gear and shoes on this channel and discuss various running related topics, so if that's something you're interested in, feel free to subscribe and comment. It really helps me reach new people. Thanks. And before I get into my running impressions with the adidas EVO SL, I want to emphasize that I bought these shoes myself and no one influenced the opinions presented here or saw this material before you. I am also not affiliated with any store or brand producing running shoes. As always, let's start with the technical details because some elements here hyped the EVO SL. Starting from the top, the upper. There's nothing groundbreaking here, but it's just really well done. The upper is comfortable and is essentially a higher quality version of the upper from the Adidas SL2. It's more like an upper you'd associate with daily trainers rather than speed-focused shoes. The heel counter is quite firm and holds the heel securely in place. Unlike Adidas racing shoes where the heel counter is just a thin layer of fabric, this one is plush and comfortable and the amount of space is just right. The lacing is standard, though the quality of the laces similar to the SL2 leaves something to be desired. This is where you can tell that Adidas was looking for even the most minor cost savings. And the tongue, I have some reservations here. The entire upper feels more like a daily trainer and then suddenly the tongue is ultra thin, more in line with racing shoes. I see a bit of inconsistency here. Don't get me wrong, it didn't bother me too much while running, but it could have been a bit softer and more comfortable. It's also not gusseted, so I sometimes noticed it shifting slightly to the sides during faster workouts. The shoe has quite a bit of space, at least by Adidas standards, definitely more than in the Adizero SL2. My medium width feet have some extra room in the forefoot, while the midfoot area is a bit snugger but still acceptable, and the heel is narrower, but that helps lock the foot in place, then there's no side-to-side movement. As is usually the case with Adidas, I went one size up from my standard, so I got a size 46 EU or US 11.5. The midsole is the star of this model. This is made entirely of Lightstrike Pro foam, the same version found in the Adios Pro 3 racing shoes, because Adios Pro 4 has a slightly different blend. It's incredibly responsive, and while it may initially feel a bit firm, it reveals its true nature after a few runs. It becomes soft and really dynamic. Since we are talking about a shoe primarily for daily training, there's no additional elements in the midsole, no rods, no plates, just pure foam. Quite a lot of it actually, 39mm in the heel and 33mm in the forefoot, giving us a 6mm drop. The outsole is covered with continental rubber, ensuring durability and decent grip. The tread is ultra flat, so venturing off asphalt or running on slippery surfaces isn't the best idea here. And finally, weight. In men's size 42 EU, the shoe weighs 224 grams, which is excellent for this type of shoe. My shoe in size 46 EU or 11.5 US weighs 256 grams, putting it in the same category as the Saucony Endorphin Speed, so shoes designed for faster running. Not bad at all. Alright, it's time to run impressions, and as always, let's start with the positives. The first and the biggest one, though also the most subjective, is the sheer joy of running. Once the Lightstrike Pro foam broke in, and I'll talk about this process later, running in the EVO SL became pure pleasure. A huge indicator of quality for me is that before every training session I instinctively reached for these shoes. Even when testing other models, I kept thinking, man, I'd rather be running in the EVO SL. I haven't felt this way about the shoe in a long time. They are soft, springy, comfortable, and every step feels enjoyable. I used to laugh at reviewers who said this, but now I understand. EVO SL is exceptionally versatile. Even though it has a more speed-oriented lineage, I categorize it as a lightweight daily trainer. You can do easy, comfortable runs in them, long tempo efforts, or even push your limits with interval sessions. For many people, they could also work as a race day shoe. That's surprising considering there's no plate inside, just pure Lightstrike Pro foam, but it provides so much energy return that there's nothing to complain about. And grip, the Continental rubber outsole offers fantastic traction on asphalt. I ran in dry conditions and in the rain. I felt safe even on sharp turns. Snow and trails, not so much, but I wasn't expecting miracles with this kind of tread. Another plus is the design. Something about this shoe's geometry makes me feel like I could wear it not just for training but also for casual outings. The elongated Adidas stripes look surprisingly good to me. My colorway is solid, but the white version with black stripes is on another level. I really wish I had managed to grab that one. I've put over 200 kilometers in those shoes, and the only signs of wear are slightly faded paint on the midsole. There is no structural damage and the outsole looks almost brand new. I expect to get several hundred more kilometers out of them. The ride still feels as enjoyable as when I first broke them in. And the final big plus is the price. A huge plus actually, because it proves that you can pack high quality materials into a shoe without charging 200 euros. Sure, 150 euros is still a lot, but considering the materials, Lightstrike Pro foam and Continental rubber, Adidas could have easily priced these 30-40 euros higher and they'd still be reasonably priced in today's market. I hope this move pushes the industry toward more realistic pricing, but actually I doubt it. I've greatly praised these shoes, so let's get into a few drawbacks. The first, the upper material. It could feel nicer to the touch. It has a slightly plasticky feel, especially the tongue, which is too thin and not integrated with the upper. The laces are better than in the EVO SL2, but still not great. They feel cheap compared to other options. Second, stability. EVO SL is definitely not a stability shoe. I'd look elsewhere if you struggle with extreme pronation or have weak ankles. It won't be a deal breaker for most runners, but don't expect much support. And lastly, a minor issue, the Lightstrike Pro foam needs a couple runs to break in. After my first run I thought, nice shoes, but the hype might be overblown. After the next run I understood everything once the foam softened up. I won't make a 4-shoe rotation here, 3 shoes are more than enough. The reviewed Adidas EVO SL is at the intersection of daily trainers and tempo shoes. Both of these uses are perfectly legit for these shoes, but if you really want a dedicated tempo shoe, I'd recommend the Bostons. What about the long runs? Adidas offerings in the segment are quite limited, so I'd recommend the Adidas Supernova Prima for most runners or the Adidas Prime X for those who sleep on money. And for race day, the choice is obvious, the Adidas Adios Pro 4. These are fantastic racing shoes with carbon rods and geometry somewhat similar to the EVO SL. It's no coincidence that people say that the EVO SL is the perfect training companion for the Adios Pro 4. Alright, but what if we wanted a 2-shoe rotation? I just answered that. We ditch the Supernova Prima and keep the EVO SL for everything except racing, and for race day we go with the Adios Pro 4. And what if we had to stick with just one shoe? No surprises here. EVO SL, EVO SL, EVO SL. The Adidas EVO SL costs 150 euros, which means that when looking for alternatives, we need to consider 2 categories. The first category is shoes in a similar price range, but not quite as good, and here I'd take a look at the following models: New Balance Rebel V4, Hoka Mach 6, and Mizuno Neo Zen. The review is coming up soon. In my opinion, this is the closest competitor to the EVO SL. And the second category includes more expensive shoes with similar characteristics or running feel. Here I would say Saucony Endorphin Speed 4 or Hoka Mach X2. However, these 2 options will set you back at least 30 euros or more. Quick summary. If it's not clear already, the Adidas EVO SL is a fantastic shoe. Its versatility, comfort, energy return, aesthetics and price make it, in my opinion, an early contender for Shoe of the Year. Everything feels right, and honestly I don't envy Adidas trying to develop an EVO SL2. There's more room to mess things up than to improve. If you can finally buy these in regular stores, I'd have one thing to say. Go for it. Adidas, man, what have you done? If you made it this far, thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, like and comment. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Also, check out my Instagram and TikTok, and I'll see you in the next video.